Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'd like to teach you how to play AION Classic in Korea, one of the easier Asian game installations, if you may, because it's just a couple of steps and you're done. You need 2.5 things to play AION Classic in Korea. One is an account, the second one is the game, and the other half is a ping reducer tool. Let me just quickly start with the ping reducer side of things, because this is very simple, like 1 minute and it's out of the way. I highly recommend Exit Lag because it's a fantastic tool for gaming in general, not even for AION Classic or for Lost Ark or for AION, whatever. It's just gaming as a whole. I have my referral link for Exit Lag in the description below. Kindly use that one. You get it for the same price, actually even with a discount, and you're helping me also out in the process, so you're shooting two birds with one stone by using my referral link in the description. So if you use my referral link, you're going to be taken to this particular website, and you have here two options. You can either click this free trial button and you're going to have to create an account and sign up for Exit Lag. You get 3 days of free trial, or you can use this my account button and then you have here an option to sign up now, right? You get Exit Lag, and then after you get it, you install the tool. This is how it looks. It's a very easy thing to do, and for AION Classic you're gonna just type AION here and you have it. You click on it and it asks you which server do you want to go through. Of course, if you're playing AION Classic in Korea, then you're gonna have to scroll a little bit down here and select one of these 3 Korean servers, whichever one gives you the lowest ping. You just select it. This one gives me 232. I don't want it. This one gives me 227, so it's already better. And then apply routes and you're done. Needless to say that if you buy a 30-day membership for Exit Lag, and right now you're playing AION Classic for 2 weeks, and then you got those demons out of you, next month you can try AION in Korea, a nice new MMORPG that a lot of people are hyped for. You can play Lost Ark in Korea, in Russia, in Japan. I have my guides in the description below for all of these games, and it's just a great thing just to have it, and then you branch out and try various things. Super cool. The game and the account part, we got to that. These are actually very simple steps. I will have this particular website linked in the description below, so you can just go straight to it. This is the NC Launcher 2, which is the launcher of AION and AION Classic. We're gonna download the launcher from this button right here. You also have the PC specs, so you can see, and very important, if something is not entirely working after you install AION, if it crashes or if it gives you all sorts of errors, then right here, driver update. These things, if you're not sure on your PC, or if you haven't played recently MMORPGs in Asia, you should come here, and if you have errors, you should come here and get updates for all of these 5 things, right? Now we're gonna agree and download the launcher. The launcher is gonna download right here behind my webcam, and after we download it, we're gonna install the launcher, and then from the launcher we're gonna get the game. As the launcher is downloading, let me talk a little bit about the account. You can obviously log into or create your own account for free with Google and Facebook, but that's not gonna work for you, because at the end, when you're gonna click the play game button in the NC launcher, it's gonna ask you to verify your identity first. So you can create a free account, but you're not going to be able to use it for anything because you don't have a Korean phone number. So what you do is you're going to come to, for example, New Gameway. This is the website that I personally use. It's a dodgy website that sells account and gold, so you can imagine. Don't do it because I said so. Do it at your own risk, right? But you come to New Gameway and you just type a quick search for AION. Now in the AION section, you're going to find 2 types of things. One of them is an AION Korea verified account, and this is the thing that you need. You need to buy one of these accounts. It costs in dollars $9.30. And then towards the end of the video, I'm going to talk about this thing right here, because this is also something that you might, not necessarily, but you might need later on for AION Classic. You have your account and you have the NC launcher. You're gonna click the download button there, or the application wherever you downloaded, and this is how it's gonna show for you. Now we're just gonna go first button next, then middle button next again. This is a very important step because you cannot change this later, so wherever you're gonna put the NC launcher, it's gonna stay there. In my case, I'm just gonna leave it for now in the default place. Next again, and it's gonna install it. The launcher is also going to do this kind of an update, so don't get scared if you see this. Later on in weeks or months, they do update the launcher sometimes. So this is how it's going to look whenever it's going to have to do an update. This right here, this little update for the launcher now and then later on, might not always work. Sometimes it's because of your internet speed, most likely it's because of that, and sometimes it's because of those things that I've mentioned at the beginning of the video. So even the little gray updating for the launcher might not work if you don't have all of these things in check. Here is the part where you already need your account credentials. However, if you use that new Gameway, they have it in stock, so it should be absolutely instant you getting an account while this launcher is updating. Yeah, email and password, and then you're gonna go into the launcher and start downloading the game. I purchased my AION accounts, this one and many others, quite frankly, 3 years ago, and I didn't ever change the password for them or anything like that, so they still work. You really don't have to do anything, and they're just there. Now here you have the 4 games that NCSoft publishes in Korea. We're gonna select AION, and then we are already here in the AION section. Now if you selected any other game, it doesn't really matter. You can just reselect it from this place right here. First, before we do anything else, I would like to draw your attention to the top right corner, the wheel thing, and then the middle button right here. These 2 sections. This is where you download the actual game files, and this is where you install them. Please make sure that if you don't have enough space on your C drive, in my case, you would change this to something that you would actually have more space. Now I would like to draw your attention to this side right here. This is a drop-down menu that contains 2 things. The top one, this one that starts with some sort of a Z looking letter, this is the live server. And this one right here that starts with something a little bit more like 3 and a 2 is the classic server. This is what you should be choosing to play AION Classic. So by default, it's on the live server. You should go here before pressing the blue button and select the classic server. Now you've selected the classic server, and then now you're gonna press the blue button. You're gonna go through these terms and conditions, pressing the blue button here. Next you have the place where to install it, because we've set it up previously. It's gonna install it right here, and this is perfectly fine for me. You press OK to that, and then you're gonna have a bar here that's going to start loading as the game is downloading, and then later on is going to do the installation phase as well. And once the download is complete, you're gonna have the installation process starting. You're gonna click this middle button with N on it, which means next, and then with I on it, which means install. It was stuck for quite a long time at checking disk space right at the very beginning, so I'm just saying, if the installer doesn't get going in a few minutes after you click next and I at the end, just be patient, it's gonna work. After the installer is done, you could potentially get an error that we cannot find the game folder where the game is installed, even though they just installed it. The game is gonna take care of that by itself. You just have to press the grayed out button, not the FAQ one, and then at the end, this is it. This is everything. You press this button and you start the game up. I would also like to talk a little bit about the subscription, because AION Classic is gonna run with this business model in Korea, where you pay a monthly membership in order to have all the features unlocked. Every account gets 1 hour of pretending to have a subscription every day, right? So for 1 hour you log in and you are like with a subscription. After that, the 1 hour runs out, you are not gonna get any XP, any Abyss points. People were saying not gonna get any item drops, so that's not really nice to still be in the game and play it, right? So you do need a subscription if you're planning to go really hard in AION Classic in Korea. Now, to get a subscription, there can be 2 ways about it. At the moment of this video, again, we don't know for sure how you will be able to acquire it, but it's either through cash shop points, and if you do want to get cash shop points, again, on this website, you deposit some real money and they top up your account. You give them your username and your password, which they gave you just before when you bought it, so it's not really a big problem. So you give them your username and password, and then they deposit real money for you. You pay them, and then you're gonna have cash shop points. Now with these cash shop points, you're gonna be able to go to the cash shop and purchase yourself subscription for AION Classic. Please though, check the description below, because if something that I've just said about the subscription is not going to be valid anymore, in the description you will find the actual real current way of getting yourself a subscription. It shouldn't be hard, but yes, it will have to 100% go through these people or other people who sold you your account, because they are the only ones who can deposit real money in AION Korea. Now, to get the translation going for AION, this is again a very simple and straightforward process. It's going to be like it was before when we tried 6.0, 7.0 in Korea, where you need to copy some translated English files over to the Korean client. Now, you don't need to replace everything or to overwrite anything. You just need to copy them. So here to my right, I have the beginning of the English translation for AION Classic. It's not yet ready, so the whole thing is not translated because the lovely guy who is working on the translation cannot actually access the game to translate the game files and such, just like until the character selection. But he did translate so far the client, and it's going to work exactly the same way as I'm gonna do here as an example to you. You're gonna have to do later when you want to translate the whole game. So from my downloads folder and then classic English translation, these two files, I'm gonna copy them and I'm gonna paste them over the exact counterpart of their Korean version. So in my folder where I have installed the game in AION Classic, I go here to L10N and then inside core folder and I just paste. Simple as that. Now, after this process is finished, if I would start the game, my game would be in English, and you don't have to, every time you log off or every time you close the game, you don't have to copy back, you know, the original files or anything like that. However, I do have I have a backup just in case something happens and the game gets an update and it asks me to repair the game or anything like that. I do have a backup of this particular folder. So what I did was, before copying the English files over to inside here on top of these, what I did was just the whole original core folder, I copied it on my desktop and it's just sitting there in an original state as it was. This is how you get the game to be translated in English. The second thing I wanted to mention, and the last thing, is that there is a Discord server made by people who are going to play AION Classic in Korea. They've gathered up on this. There's quite some people already that are interested in AION Classic in Korea, and I'm gonna link you the Discord in the description below so you can actually join it. Come here. All of them are English speaking players. They're planning to make guilds and, you know, play together and rift and do all of these things together, so you will have people to play the game with. And this community of players is going to be gathered on this server right here, the one that starts with an O as part of the first letter on the Asmodian side, so you know where to find them. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope this was useful to you, and what can I say? See you in game, and stay safe. Lots of love.